Some say it's all about 1925 and beyond. The podcast. KC 100 year celebration with Pete A. Kennedy and Marlon A. Kennedy.
Welcome, it's the 1925 and Beyond podcast. My name is Pete A. Kennedy, co-host. I'm here with big brother Marlon A. Kennedy. And again, we have another good session for you because I got my homeboys in the building. And when I say homeboys, I mean literal homeboys. These guys are in South Florida with me. And today's session is to really talk about an event coming up for Kingston College celebration. But you know me, I don't spill the beans. I just do the introduction, but I have to drop the credit. I went to Kingston College between the year 1992 to 1995, played Colts 93, 94, 194, and 95 played Manning Cup, but the journey didn't end there, and this is why we have this podcast. Let me get it over to big brother Marlon A. Kennedy.
Thank you, Pete. Welcome everybody to another episode of 1925 and Beyond. Unlike Pete and his homies, I'm probably the only deportee here amongst these gentlemen. So I'm located in Jamaica. Again, also went to KC and from 1986 to 93 and played cricket there as well. So we have, as Pete said, we have a very special lineup today. We get a 3-for-1 today. We have three of our Fortis brothers with us, but the intent as we launch 1925 for this year and we celebrate our KC 100 is also to support all the Fortis events that we have out there. And these gentlemen here are not only here to tell us a bit about their stories, but also to tell us about an upcoming event that will be happening in the South Florida region, and they will be hosting that event. So gentlemen, welcome. Welcome Will, welcome Courtney, and welcome Leonard.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome, guys.
My pleasure.
All right. So as usual with our distinguished guests, we always ask them to start off by telling us the KC story, just a little bit about, how you got to KC, what was your time at KC like, any memorable moments, anybody leave an impressionable impact on you and so forth. So I don't know if you want to go by seniority as to who is the oldest, go first, or who is the big boss, go first. Who they are find the longest can go first, so they can tell me whichever one, but let's run it, gentlemen. Go on now.
Yeah, I can start off. Well, my name is Leonard Walker. Actually, I started KC Actually, my story is I graduated from Duane Park Primary School with my last chance. I passed the common entrance on my last chance. And the only reason why I think I passed is because I was promised a bicycle. And so the lady who was next door to me, she was traveling. She was back and forth to America. She's like, yeah, you need to pass your exam. You got your last chance. And I promise you, I'll give you a bicycle when you pass. To which I picked for Kingston College my first chance and Campion my second chance. So I think I made the right decision and picking for KC first. That's what I passed to go to in my last chance. So I was there.
You didn't get the bicycle?
Actually, no. She went back to America. She went back to America and she didn't give me the bicycle she was promised. So that was the negative part of it, but the good part of it that I passed for a good school because I always admire KC growing up. A couple friends of mine who was on the same street, they went to KC, so it was inspiring just to see them, playing, football. And I always like sports, playing football. Actually, when I went to KC, I was playing football, but I actually was better in cricket. I started playing cricket when I was in my eighth form. Yeah, second form, 8th grade. So,
Bucky, I'm gonna stop you a little. He will never stop you, Bucky, because you see, my big brother will always talk about film, cricket history. You see, Will, if you hear the story, him couldn't make the football side, Courtney, which is why a cricket him go play. All him attack, All him attack, him on a ball, So sometimes the man them drop some story when it is a second option to the choice. But I want sport me play for the school. So, as much as we say that, I just wanted to share that piece as him sharing the journey.
Thank you for that, Pete, because some of us prefer refinement over a more brutish sport, but it's all right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Buck.
Yeah, actually, yeah. But I was to me in my mind, I was better in football. But when I joined the cricket team, actually my coach, Roy McLean, God rest his soul, he was the best coach that would ever coach everyone at KC. So
Yeah,
Ronald
man.
McLean was the best coach. He trained you from somebody you're not into a professional. So between him, he trained. I was in the same class as Marlon Summers. I got Andrew Richardson, a couple of the top guys who were playing cricket at the time. So I get involved in cricket and excel. We win about 2 Sunlight Cup, actually 1 Coast Cup and 2 Sunlight Cup out of it since me playing for the school.
Nice.
Nice. In 99, migrated in 2000 to South Florida. I got involved with a couple of the KCO boys.
Hold that, Bucky, before you go into the extended part. Make we hear from some of the others there in regards to how they got to KC and the time. We'll hold that thought. We're coming back. Let's go with you, Courtney, since you're right there on the screen looking at me to the left. Go ahead.
Well, actually, if you don't mind, Mr. Host, I'd like to defer and hold my story to the end because my one is gonna surprise you as well. So
all right. Come William, call you out.
No problem. Again, thanks for the invite. We appreciate you having us on your podcast. Like what you guys have been doing so far and doing a good job. But my story, I'm surprised that Chris, and a little disappointed that Chris is not on here because you guys gonna hear how far me and Chris Francis coming from. We actually went to the same prep school. We both were at St. Teresa Prep together.
Okay.
And we both passed for KC together. So, my journey was from 83 to 86. So my time at St. Teresa Prep, I used to take the bus and pass on North Street and St. George's on one side and KC on the other side. So even though I lived down in Patrick City, right? When we come by, Calabar was the closest school, but that purple always enticed me from prep days. So I knew that's where I was going.
Yeah.
So KC was 1, Calabar was 2. I wasn't looking over at the George's side at all, And my 3 years from 83 to 86, the big person who made the biggest impact on me was a guy who played Sunlight, a guy named Ringrose, where, every day we do the Chili and George.
Yeah.
You get your food from Chili and George. As a little youth, always mischievous. I don't remember even what I was doing, but him draft me up, keep me on the bottom and say, when I turn around and I see him about 6'4", realize he can't do nothing. And he became a big mentor to me.
Yeah.
End up going over him house, whole heap of boat. Me and him would leave, meet him up at Sabina Park and watch the old West Indies team back when they were the
on top.
Greenwich, when they were on top, when you had the Richardson, Jeffrey Dujan, all of those guys, would be up in the stands with a bunch of old guys, guys 60s and 70s. One of the things that I learned a long time ago is that the guys that my age will try to figure it out, but the older guys, them know what's going on. So from a young age, me always kind of gravitate to some older guys, older Fortis guys,
Yeah.
So that was kind of my thing at KC. I finished up high school here. I migrated in 86 and finished up high school here. But I've always linked back with the guys, Banks and Donovan Jermaine, who are very active in the football and the track, are brothers of mine.
Yeah.
And up here, mentors of mine include Audley Hewitt, which, I saw that podcast you did with him. Even when I got promoted to chief, he was at my promotional ceremony.
Yeah.
So these guys are not just elders to me, they are friends and mentors,
Yeah.
So that's my journey at KC.
Yeah. And I must say, I'm a part of the South Boy chapter because right after Smood bring me, I don't know if him tell you, but he must tag team you and then you come afterwards and then Street. So I must say you 3 guys are the 3 guys mainly that got me involved. But Smood was the first one that brought me in and then you came afterwards and Street. So thank you for the support as well. Appreciate that. Definitely want to put that out there. All right, save the best for last. The man called Smood.
Yeah, man. Again, thanks to the invite, in the podcast. And I think you guys doing great things, you know what I mean? From somebody who's been in media for a long time. Hope you continue to push this thing forward. I like what you're doing, you know what I mean?
Thank you, sir.
my story though is, like I said, one that surprises a lot of people when they hear it. So you got transferred in, so did I. Yeah. So I transferred into KC. I never went to Melbourne because I transferred in Fort Farm.
What? You missed the whole Melbourne experience,
The whole Melbourne experience.
That's not I want hard to believe. Yes,
believe that I was actually
look what
born
1925 and beyond bring out.
I was born in Ochi, yes. Born and raised in Ochi. Visited Kingston every chance I get because I used to just love it. Right? The only high school influence that I know in Kingston at the time was my two elder cousins who went to our schools, JAMAICA College. So when I was transferring, my mom was moving to New York. No, my aunt was gonna be the one to look after us, look after me, because my other siblings wanted to stay. Who was going to stay, and I wanted no part of I wanted to be in Kingston because for whatever reason, I always love Kingston. Anyways, when I came, when my aunt decided to take me, she's saying, okay, she's gonna look about schools. Luckily, my auntie did have some sense because she have two knuckleheads in the house already who already I got hope road, yeah. If you talk to Bertie, you know Bertie?
Yes, man. Yes.
He's the president of the
Pavilion. Fortis Pavilion.
Yes, man.
Yeah,
yes.
Bertie. Yeah, man. That's my younger cousin.
Really?
Okay.
And I was the one. I was his inspiration to go to KC. the other two clone them already I got JC, you know. So we say it all the time. Auntie was smart enough to know she couldn't deal with 3 and 4, you know, JC man at all. So that's how we ended up transferring to KC from I went to a school named York Castle at the time, if you know, down in Fenton. That's where I was coming from.
Yeah.
So so that's when I came to KC, and oddly enough, I only went to KC 1 year. That's one of my biggest, I tell people all the time, one of my biggest regrets, because my mother shipped me out the following year to New York City. I was gone. And I tell people all the while that one of my biggest regrets is the fact that I didn't get to spend as much time as I would have liked to.
Yeah. So you basically was a fraud brand and they transfer you to become a real brand.
Yo, no, it was a fraud brand, but we know that the brand that I became was legitimately the real brand for real, you know, because
I would have never know that the amount of purple you bleed Smood.
Check this.
1 year.
All right. I'm gonna show you how strong this influence is at Kingston College. So I went to York Castle 3 years. I went to Kingston College 1 year. Can you tell the difference? If anyone asks, you know, which school I went to, I will tell them. If I don't tell them which school I went to before I went to KC, they wouldn't know. But the influence that I got in that 1 year far outlasted 3 years I spent at the other institution. And it's just crazy how much the culture does to you but the KC.
Wow, Smood. I never know that. I did not know that, Smood.
Yeah.
I'm glad you save it for last for real, because that one
but you know, gentlemen, you know, I've heard many stories like this. You know, when I talk about my story, people can't believe I only spent 3 years at KC, and it's the first 3 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And nobody hear me talk about finishing up high school at North Miami. You know, I'm in their Hall of Fame about football and track and field, and I don't mention anything about North Miami.
Yeah.
It's all KC. So the influence is there, you know?
Yes.
It's crazy because, as you said, that Will, not to belittle the point, but when I went to New York, because when I come to KC, you know, I came to KC and play some farm match, 10 McDonald, me and who was in my class now, youth named Flower, youth named Flower, I can't remember the real name them now, because you know how that got KC.
Yeah.
Remind me about the nickname. Perry Marshall was actually the captain for the class side. Like the first class match I play, nobody don't know who I am, you know. Man, just see me play ball and say, yeah, man, you have to come play with it. Scored one off of each side, you know. Ooh, that's look at you, yeah. Some of this skinny, you know. Yeah, so
still this skinny Smood.
But when I done, you know, when the match done, and Mr. I'm look a weight trainer guy named the one that passed
Yeah, man.
years ago. Look, Indian brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Don't tell you, but me know yata.
Yeah, it's over there. The Judge T draw me and going, carry me over there. You know, Judge T not get involved with court. Judge T come draw me and say, you see over here. Him say, first, I want you to see it. I want to see you practice in the evenings. But you see over here, I want you to go there every Tuesday and Thursday and do some weight training. And so I said, boy, you're too skinny for me at the side, man. You have some skills, but you need some body.
Body.
Yeah, but you know, long story short, went to training a couple of times, and the most worthless decision I ever made. But one evening, the man them said, no training one Friday. And I said, all right, cool, go downtown. And when I go downtown on the Friday evening, I go cross waters, you know that's something that stay down a parade, you know. And when I go downtown and see the amount of girls down there, and I see the power of the purple and white tie style, I'm just take up the purple and white tie and go so on, just anything more, go so on, it done. Can I tell you the man them never see me back at practice after that, boss?
I don't tell you start go down.
Every evening at school done, I gone downtown, boss. Man them come on my class, come look for me, I'm going to hide them out. Yeah.
I said, the purple and white experience amongst them. My gosh, I'm only about talk about that too.
I never played in the ball at KC. Go New York and play captain of the high school team, run track, win all kind of pen relay medals for another school. And all I talk about is KC still, 1 year.
Wow.
Influence, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Similar to Wayne Montague, president of New York. No, same way. He left KC like third farm. And went overseas, and similar like what Will is saying, you don't never hear mention nothing else but KC. And this is why we're doing this again. It's to show you the strength. And as you hear from my three brothers here, 3 different unique stories, but the KC is so strong. Oh my gosh. Big brother, talk to them.
Yeah, man. So gentlemen, one of the highlights of this session with you guys is to get some details. I know that we have a lot of events happening this year. It's a special year for KC. We've gone 100. We win champs already. I think we win lacrosse and so forth. So we're doing well all around as usual. But
don't forget Manning Cup. It's not in this year, but it's in the school year. Don't forget Manning Cup.
I agree, Will. It is in the 100th year. It is, Will. I stand corrected. Thank you. And so a lot of the events have been taking place, you know, the gala, the dinners and different things. And I know that with all the chapters and the different groups that we have, a lot of events taking place all outside of Jamaica. So I know you gentlemen are hosting an event in May of this year. So if somebody just lead us out to tell us a bit about that event, so we can get that information out there so we can increase the numbers for the support.
Yes, so I'll go ahead and start. So what we have in Florida, we have what's called a Big Purple Session that we have every October that's well attended, and it's one of KC's staples event, right? We have people that come from near and far to support that event. What we went ahead and did is we incorporated another event, which is a day fit to kind of start to entice some of the younger alumni to come and join this KC event. And of course, none of our event is specific just to KC, but everybody is welcome. All proceeds go back to KC, because if you all see the 3 guys here, and if you listen to Sir Hewitt, his biggest message was giving back. That's what KC is all about. So with this Purple Rain, all proceeds go back to help KC in whatever way needed. So we are having this event on May 3rd at Vizcaya Park, 4 to 11, to celebrate our 100th year and also raise funds to be able to help the school in whatever way they need. The address for that place at Vizcaya Park is 14200 Southwest 55th Street in Miramar. And we have the support of Miramar commissioners. We have commissioner, and I have to give kudos to Commissioner Maxwell Chambers, who has been very supportive, and not just supportive in just his picture on the flyer, but he has put his financial support behind us and has actually promoted the event and all the other events that he has, that been coming up, leading up to this event. So I have to actually acknowledge his support.
I see that it says on the flyer that it's an upscale day fit. What that mean? People have dressed up in them Sunday best.
Well, KC, again, let's going back to what KC is all about. When you see the type of guys them that go to KC and you hear Smood say when you have a footballer leave football and gone downtown because of the girls them. So we know how the thing is. So we always well put together. So KC don't do anything shabby and we don't do anything halfway. So we always put ourselves together. So upscale, all the girls them know what that's about. All the guys them always come bush and ready because it's a KC event. We're not trying to slight any other school, but there's one KC. So we're gonna come out and represent like we always do, and in this upscale day fit.
So Smood, I know that you're very familiar with the entertainment scene. So tell us about that package that we should look forward to on the day.
Yeah, well, just to kind of continue with the explanation that Pete was giving. When you say upscale, one of the things I would like to add when it comes to upscale, then there's an opportunity for you to come and buy yourself a cabana for you and your party. You can have a raised cabana, a regular cabana, or what they call an elevated cabana. So you can stand out with your crew and strut your stuff. Whether you have 4, 6, 10, 20 people, whatever, just give you an opportunity to stand out on one of our raised cabanas, and then do your thing upscale style. As far as entertainment is concerned, like if we were gonna do upscale and you're gonna do uptown type vibe, the only way to go for me as a DJ and I give props to another DJ, Renaissance Sound. Understand? This is why we went with Renaissance Sound, because we're looking for that type of, that type of crowd, that type of demographic there. Renaissance carry that reputation rather, of the uptown and upscale kind of a crowd. It's not necessarily bougie, because people say bougie, but when people start drinking, nobody is bougie no more. When it is liquor busting on them head.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's Renaissance, it's myself, C Smood, Gary C Witness, and DJ Chris. So it says VDJ Chris. So that in itself means video disc jock Chris. So Chris has a little unique thing that he does, that when he plays, the songs are the videos for the songs are being displayed as well. So that in itself is an attraction, something a little bit out of the ordinary that we've added to the entertainment package, just nice. To make uniquely KC,
And I'm happy that you cleared that up to Smood, because when I see VDJ, I thought it was virtual. I thought it was a man that was going to be playing remotely. Yeah. And I link, in Florida, and he's not there, but he's glad to hear that. And I agree with you, because I've seen a few selectors do it that way, and it's really entertaining when they can have the video playing in the background and also the same music when they mixed to, and as them change, it a change as well. So that's really something to look forward to.
100%.
Yeah, Bucky. So where can we get with tickets and all them things to support this thing? Yeah?
Good question. So on the flyer, as what Mr. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, man, we hear you. I'm seeing the flyer too.
Yeah. All right. So I'm showing the flyer. So you can always go on Eventbrite. If you go on eventbrite.com, you can always type in Purple Rain, and it will go directly to this website. We had our early bird tickets that expired on April 1st. It was $25. Now we still have some $35 tickets up until the day of the event. Then it will go to $40 to get in. Even though it's a Kingston College Old Boy Association, we always welcoming every other school to come through. And you know, because it's our first event, we're kind of, you know, taking the initiative to put some of the packages based on our school. So we have for Cabana specials, we have $800 will give you one premium, two bottles, one premium and one well. And we have, that's the Melbourne package. The North Street package will give you 3 bottles, which includes 1 premium and 2 well. And then we have the 6th form package, which is $1,500. Would give you 4 bottles, 2 premium and 2 well. And all those come with tickets to entrance. So
Yes.
you guys can get on Eventbrite to purchase the tickets. On the fly, you can also scan the QR code. The QR code will directly take you to the site. And if you guys don't get the opportunity to purchase a ticket in time and want to purchase it at the gate, you guys can also jump on Eventbrite. Then we're gonna also set up scanners where you guys can, you know, scan the ticket and you can purchase your ticket right on Eventbrite directly.
All right. You want to say something, Will?
Yes, and we also have physical tickets as well. So if anybody that's out there and want to have their physical tickets prior to getting at the day of the event, you can, anybody that's on here, there's contact number on the flyer, and you know, you can contact any of the KC guys that they'll lead you to guys who actually could give you physical tickets.
Excellent. Are you guys planning to, do you have a social media presence? So what I mean by that is, on the day, would there be aspects of the event that you'll be pushing out live for like 5-10 minutes, or even after the event, will you be posting photos and videos on any social media platforms, so let people know what they missed? And as you said, Bucky is your first one, so I know that you're going to have another one, so people want to know what happened at the very first event, so they know that they don't miss it again.
Yes, we have a social media presence on Instagram and also Facebook, so those things will be posted there as well. And we look forward to having this be an annual event. You know, we spoke about having our purpose session, which is our flagship event that we have in October. So we're looking to have this event that would be typically right after champs, then after pen relays, and after pen relays, everybody make their way down to South Florida and come party with us. Excellent.
So what's the social media handle where they could follow you guys?
I don't know if you have that. Let me see if I can pull that up for you guys real quick.
Yeah, pull it up for us. Pull it up, because I can see your dedication there, Will. And let me just ask. I see a frame behind you. Did you actually take the flyer and frame it? And
Well,
put
you know,
it?
well, again, you know,
What's the dedication there?
it's one KC, you know, so we do things a little
Love
bit
it.
different, and we do
Love
things
it.
original.
Why, you know what, Will? That can be a memorabilia, you know, for the first one what we do, you know. That can be a nice deal. Come here, say, would I buy one of that from you, you know, Will?
I see
look
that.
good, that'd be nice in my office. So that's an idea there to make some funds.
Yeah, you know what though, Peter? I'm just hoping that wasn't like, you know, the frame for him diploma from college.
No, man. But listen, at the point right now, it's all about Purple Rain, May 3rd. So it could have been a diploma for anything right now. All roads, everything lead to
Purple Rain.
You understand?
As long as him can find a diploma afterwards, Smood. As long as him not dash it to and can recover it. That's the issue.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, go ahead, Pete.
No, you go ahead.
No, man, go on.
So the Instagram, I think we had one was KC100, and we think we call it KC100 Purple Rain. So Will, we have that pull up, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get to it right now. It's Kingston College Old Boy Association Purple Rain.
Okay. And that's on which platform? That's on Insta?
And that's on Insta. Yes, yeah, that's on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. And then all of the other KC Facebook platforms, all of those platforms, you'll go there and you'll see the information for Purple Rain as well.
Okay, so it's on the other chapter platforms as well to support your thing.
Correct.
Excellent. So people know that they can go to KC Old Boys USA, which is the people them down by New York side, the team in Atlanta.
Yep.
With Alvin Beans and so forth, so they'll see it there, and that's great.
Yes.
So I know that you say all proceeds will go towards KC, and I know that everybody has a different focus coming out of the chapters. Do you have any idea what your focus will be with your proceeds going towards the school?
Well, you know, South Florida do things a little bit different, and not to knock what other chapters do, but what we like to do is we identify with the principal, Dave Myrie, what the needs are. And typically he'll come to us and say, we have a need for this. So we don't specialize specifically in one area, track and field, football. We support the school where the needs exist. So we allow the flexibility of the principal to go ahead and do with the funds where the need exists.
Okay.
There are times that specific with not only athletic program, there might be need from some academic needs as well. And we support whatever is needed at KC. So that's kind of how the Florida chapter work. We're all inclusive in as far as funds go into KC and nothing for anything specific. But as needs arise, we step up to the plate and we make sure that we're able to support.
Thank you for that. I'm more familiar with the Florida chapter than the other chapters. So could you just briefly tell me what your experience has been like with the Florida chapter?
Well, I don't want to take over the podcast, but I'll tell you one of the things, and I spoke to Doc Fraser, who is our president, where, I don't know if it happened to these guys, but the first meeting that I went to, they make you stand up, is them put you right back. For those that you like, Smood say it was not Melbourne, my experience was the opposite. I never get a chance to go over to North Street, I went there every day. At school finished your run, gone over North Street because that's won't say the real KC, but they get the real vibes. You understand?
Yeah.
So, my first, Chris Francis, again, who was supposed to be on here, but was unable to make it, when I said, boy, we have a little chapter thing, you have to come up, So when I come up here, the man them say, yo, you have to stand up, And I say, yeah, everybody, them know me. I say, yeah, we don't care who know you, You have to stand up and talk to me and tell you when you went to school, what you did, where you did, and the guys them, listen to you. But what I can't speak for any other chapter, but you see this South Florida chapter, look here, man, there's no, it's not an alumni thing, it's a brotherhood. I can speak for Kid Foster. Kid Foster's son is a chief that works with me at Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. And Kid Foster, I'm closer to Kid Foster than his son. And his son is closer, is my age group. You understand? but Kid Foster is my friend. He's not a KC old boy, he's my friend. So, I think everybody in this podcast here will have somebody that them can say that about in regards to the Old Boy Association. You hear me talk about Sir Hewitt was at my promotion ceremony. There's a guy who called me up and said, Will, what you doing tonight? Come go to me with the basketball game. And it's me and Sir Hewitt like that, So these guys are there for you. It's just same type of vibes that would happen at KC.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the great Jumpy Harris, back in his earlier days, them just come and them just roll out 14 balls. I never know the balls could be lime green. And come around to everybody and say, once you have no boots, what size you wear? And in a week you get a boots. So KC and giving back is a staple of what we do. So the South Florida, I went there and saw Smood. I went there and saw the late Maurice Burroughs, with him and Chris Francis was doing some great work specifically with the football team, with getting them scholarships here. And Chris just touched me and said, Will, you have to take over for Burroughs. I said, no problem. So we work with banks, and we work with Donovan Germain and make sure when them call you and say, yo, them not call you and say, can you buy a boots or not? Them just say, yo, we need a size 12, this is the boots where I look for. And you
Okay.
just jump in and make it happen. So that's how we operate.
And
Yeah, man.
you know, one of the things talking about the South Florida chapter, one of the things that I noticed and I love about it is when I first got there, they were just transitioning into what they are now in terms of the structure and how we operate. Not even structure so much, because you know, every old boy association we have a president or a secretary or treasurer, all those things. You know, those things are there for operational purposes. You know, and them needed, but when there is not such a thing as hierarchy in the everyday means of the word. You understand? You go to a South Florida chapter meeting, if a man table an idea, a thought for some kind of fundraiser or whatever, it just go, everybody just say, yo, what do you think about that? And the man them say, all right, you know what? Make a vote. And right then and there we'll vote.
Yeah.
And if it pass, it gone a road. That's just how we are. There's no, yo, wait, and we gotta pass it up through this channel and wait till these guys have to. None of that. And that's one of the things I love, because one of the stigmas that was attached to the Old Boy Association at one point, and it's still so in some chapters, is that it's like a good old boys type of association, and the younger youth them feel left out, intimidated, them kind of weird. So I was very pleased when I got here and saw that, and that's kind of why I started pulling some of the younger youth, and like Pete and Will and whoever else we were pulling. We're still trying to pull some of them to this day, but that's one of the main things that you know kind of just had me gravitate to the chapter.
Yeah, man.
How about you, Bucky?
I would say when I just came to South Florida, I was dealing with the, you know, Jumpy Reed, and I deal with Mr. Fraser. I come across Audley Youth, and I was more closer to Audley Youth than most of them. But I saw the camaraderie as far as in when they used to do a lot of, you know, events and stuff to donate to the school. Based on my experience, you know, growing up at the institution in Jamaica, it's, you know, I didn't get a lot of stuff bring to the table as far as in, you know, sports equipments, especially a person who was in sports. So when an old boy can come together from a chapter, South Florida, and put together, you know, some gears or some jersey, that was, you know, that was good to know that I'm a part of something where I can contribute towards, you know, the chapter. So now that it's kind of getting where the old boys are trying to get to retire, now it's a good time to get all the younger generation, the early 2000s and the late 90s, you know, to be a part of the chapter now. So I think,
and as you said that, okay, right? That is one of the reasons why, as well, gentlemen, why we're putting on Purple Rain. That's one of the reasons. One of the reasons is to attract the youth of the KC old boy that is out there in South Florida. We're not hiding that one, right? So, again, always Purple Session would be the staple. There's one KC. I want to make that very clear, as well as our elders will see this one KC. But just like, you know, Smood said, you know, my experience from an attraction, Smood was not the first meeting. And, you know, before the meeting start, you know, the guys them used to talk about, you know, them history and them little thing before them go down to the actual structure of the meeting Smood. And when me sit down and me meet Audley, I'm here, when Audley tell me him left KC. What me say to Audley say? Yeah. And then me hear, you know, Baldwin say when him left, and me I say, I didn't want them and them ask me, so will me never get the stand-up thing, right? I just get welcome, you know, cause them just did want a young man in the room. Them didn't want to know when me left. Them just, oh, he's okay, see, welcome, right? And that was it. But Marlon encouraged me back, and then me link with Smood again, cause me again looking for that familiar face in the room. And then once me link with Smood and start go, and then, you know, meet you, Will, and, you know, Street and Bucky, you know, and the rest of the man them start coming. the purple wearing was actually created in, and this is not our first year. We've done something similar like this. It's just through over time we'd had some drop off, but the plan is to do this consistently every year to support KC and just to say for the youth of the KC old boy out there, this is your space. Right, but we still support the purple session and we'll be there, but it's just another avenue to bring the Fortis brothers together and also do some support for KC. So all the young men out there, come out, May 3rd, can't miss it, can't miss it.
I really appreciate, telling us, as briefly as possible the story, and then, the event that you're putting on later on in May. I want to wish you, Saturday coming. Yeah. So I want to wish you all the best with that. I'm very sure I won't be able to come up and make it, but I hope to follow you on the respective social media platforms, can see how things progressing and how exactly it went as well. So, thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys having us on the program as well.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, man. But before you go, right, you have to wrap up with, and I'm a swing it the same way how we started. So Bucky first, Will next, and then Smood wrap it up. But I want you guys each to wish KC happy 100 in whichever way you decide to do so, and then leave a lasting message for the school, the body, the students, the old boys, right? And you only have 1 minute, right? So, to sum it up so we can get it. But happy 100 KC and a positive note for the school body across all levels. Go to Bucky.
Yes, I just want to wish the institution, KC, Fortis, Cadere, CEDRE, non-Fortis, and it lives on. So, happy 100, 1925, 2025. We got it going, 100 and more. Yeah, blessing.
Will.
Yes, Kingston College, one college. 100 year. Love how we start off, how we're doing with things. Not only from a Manning Cup perspective, not only from champs perspective, but even academically. Love how we've been doing it, and for my positive note is for all the legendary, because a bunch of legends around us. I've had the opportunity twice at dinner to meet all the great Michael Holding, and I'll know him, don't even know me, I almost piss up myself. You understand? Because when me go school, you have, me in a 7 Gibson, but you have Holding, a class name after one of our great generals. I turn to my wife, and I take picture with him, and she, I explain to her who he is and the impact that he has had. So it's been a privilege to be able to work and see some of these legends where, same thing happened to me with Doug Forrest. He was retired and gone and came back and teach me French. So I had the opportunity to have him for a year. So man. So the impact, the message that I have is that you never know who you're going to influence. So as a Fortis man, we have a reputation to live up to and pass this legacy on. One love, Fortis.
But Will, I want to tell you, watch the podcast with Michael Holding. I'm all alone at that. Me and up on Zoom with it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's it. I imagine meeting the man in person, because growing up and I go Savannah Park and Michael, when the man roll out. So this podcast has also opened up the doors for me to meet so many KC greats. So I totally understand where you're coming from, my brother. Appreciate it. All right, Smood, my brother.
Yeah, just wanted to say happy 100th birthday to the single most influential institution on Father God land. Understand? We are termed cult and all kind of negative things, but unless you will become a part of it, you won't really understand. It's just a culture. It's a brotherhood. It's just a love for our institution that has always loved us. So we're just continuing the tradition, and I would like to extend that invitation to the younger youth to do the same, because when I came up through KC, for the short time I was there, I saw nothing but love. My first pair of Puma Kings was from a KC man. I still don't know who him is. You understand? And we've always seen that. So I want to invite the youth them to continue the tradition and don't lose the sense of pride that we've over the years have had and over this 100 years have had continue to be proud Kingston College Fortis youth. Carry that pride with it everywhere. Walk with it. Yeah? Bless it.
No.
Before, give me I'll be remiss if I don't. Because you saw Smood had his hairstylist there, right? I'd be remiss if I don't mention the Fortis women, right?
That's right.
That a lot of times we leave them in the back shadows. But I'm going to tell you, my wife is from Belize, right? And my wife don't leave champs or leave pen relays without me. To wear them all. Teaser or pen relays.
If you go purple, not to cut your will. If you go purple, you can't go back. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, once you deal with a Fortis, man, I hate that.
So,
that's the thing about these women these days. They quick to say, oh, I'm not like KC, man. I can't stand on the corner all in on the self. But it's not that, you know, the institution teach us to be respectful, to guide and protect one another. So at the end of the day, we are gonna stand up because we emblem into being competitive, and our school is always competitive. Whether a man goes and buy a new shoes and say, all right, I'm gonna look good going to the bus stop, or I'm gonna take him bus or whatever, we always just stand out. So you can't say that, oh, we into ourselves and with that, but I just how we grow up as you know, together. And the competitiveness is in us, you know. So
yeah. The point I wanted to make was just still bigging up the KC women. You know, when we went to pen relays, you know, some other school turned to her and said to her, "So which year you go to KC?" Because she have on her jersey, and she said, "The same year him go." You know, so you know, we see all of the KC man, but I can speak for Smood wife, you know. I can, and my wife don't leave me an inch, you know. When we at North Street and the kids them from the surrounding neighborhoods come over after school, she's right there playing jacks with them. You understand what I'm saying? So those are memories, and I just don't want to leave out the KC women them and their impact that they've had and they continue to have.
Yeah, man.
And it's coming up. Look out for that one.
Man, that episode is coming up. We have the ladies in line up, you know.
KC woman.
Yeah, man.
And that one going to be nice.
Yeah,
so
man.
tell me know you're here with us. So line up yourself, you know. We have one for yourself and your friend. So come out. No, let me prove something here, because I think you're one of the most recent ones, Smood. Maurice will talk about it. Hardly talk about it. That when you get the opportunity and you have a son, let me use the proper words. When you get the opportunity, because me have two and they don't have the opportunity. But right here amongst us, Smood, who has the opportunity, has done one of the greatest things I can respect you for, my brother, because trust me, is send him son go KC. And right now, Smood son is going to KC. Every time I visit, I think me have him tell you Smood. So I mean at the classroom with him and we are doing things because I know him here from Florida, play ball with him when I'm a little boy, and to see him now propelled to the same school.
But Pete, make sure you add context so people understand.
Yes.
Because despite the fact that Smood lives in the States, his son and wife are also from the States. So what Smood has done, ladies and gentlemen, is that made that sacrifice for his wife and son to be here in Jamaica. And his son is attending KC while Smood continues to protect and manage the household while it's moving back and forth.
Correct.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Correct. And I was going to let him speak on that a little bit, but I applaud you for that. And as a KC old boy, that is why I made my commitment that every time I'm in the island and I go to the school, I make sure that, you know, your son see the support, see the familiar faces, make the connections, and, you know, we'll make sure that purple blood is felt across the spectrum. Because you and I had talked about some things, I would say, we just want to support him all the way. So I want to say, man, on this podcast here, I said it to you before, but now I'm saying it in front of the world. Respect for that. Love you for that. And huge move. Huge move.
You know, I tell you something funny is, and this actually, I'm just thinking about it again, just KC, the influence of KC. Suppose I tell you that Caleb was 11 when he started KC. throughout the first 11 years I'm live, I never once tell him him have to go KC or need to go KC. Not once. Why do you think Caleb want to go KC? Because him see
the lifestyle you live, yeah.
Him see it in the lifestyle, him see it, him see the brotherhood, him see the camaraderie. Remember as a kid, Caleb would take the photos with us at the old boys club, at the picnic in front. Him was in my hand. He was in every one of those pictures as a baby. So
go champs.
Him live it. Him go champs. Him the pen relays and him. You understand? From him as a baby. So it kind of just him grow that way. I never once have to tell him he need to go KC. And if I tell him one day that when he got to about 7, 8, him start saying, I want to go KC. And when him step out of line, you know what I do? I tell him, you want to go KC. I'm not saying you go KC.
That was
right away.
So not to cut you off, Smood, but he experienced more cases than you, man.
Can't teach him for that thing or to me, Bucky.
Yeah, boy, no, cause what? You know, I'm not thinking about a Senegal KC. You can't imagine the man. What a man.
Man, behave himself in line. Well done.
Right away.
Wow. Well, there you have it, guys. My gosh. Again, this one is sweet, and they get juicier and juicier in the 1925 and beyond. As you've heard it, the stories are unique, they're rich, and they're different. And even if it's 1 year, you can see the impact that it has. Gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time. We appreciate it. May the 3rd, you cannot afford to miss it. I will be there. Smood will be there. Bucky will be there. Chris will be there. Will be there. Gary Sweetness will be there. DJ Delano will be there from Renaissance. So please, I'm telling you, grab your tickets on Eventbrite at Kingston College, 100-year Purple Rain. And I'm telling you, you cannot afford to miss this one. But we wrap up every 1925 and beyond podcast by saying the greatest motto that came out of the greatest institution. And when we have more than one guest, we normally count it down. So it sounds a little bit orderly as much we were not part of the choir. But just a little bit of order, we count it down. But normally, as you've watched the podcast, we just go right into it. Every KC old boy is mandated to say this. No questions asked. You will be recorded. You know this matter. But here we go after 3. 1, 2, 3. Fortis, Cadere, none Potest. The brave may fall, but never yield. Hey, I learned this from Stewie. Stewie said, "Is Fortis then, Fortis now, and Fortis forever." See you on May the 3rd if you in South Florida, but wherever you're at, you can still catch us there. Purple Rain is a place to be. But again, see you on the next 1925 and beyond podcast. We're out. Cheers.
All right.